The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Now the United States of America, after accusing Burkina Faso are all in all the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loved, Captain Ibrahim Traore, has now shifted the attention to William Ruto, the president of Kenya. According to the United States of America, William Ruto is no longer serving the interests of the United States of America. We know that William Ruto has been a big P to the United States of America when Joe Biden was the president, and this man could rent a jet of $1.5 million just to go and sit on the president's seat, President Biden's seat in the United States of America, and come back to Kenya. So these people were expecting that William Ruto will continue to be a big P. But William Ruto, even though he's a P, decided to move and form a new alliance with China. And this is not going down well with the United States of America. According to them, they have to restructure their relationship and ties with Africa. They do not have to have individual relationship like they have with William Ruto, but they have to make sure they move to the institutions, private companies and businesses, so that they can get we the youth more to the side of the United States of America. That what William Ruto is doing or has done is against the interests of the United States of America. The saying that they want to be with China with a new world order is something that William Ruto has beaten more than he can chew.
Engaged in talks with Kenya over a potential free trade agreement, a first for sub-Saharan Africa. And now Secretary Rubio and other senior officials have ramped up engagement and confronted threats from al-Shabaab and the Islamic State head-on. But these efforts cannot be siloed. They must be part of a broad strategic effort to protect American interests in Africa while also protecting the U.S. taxpayer's pocketbook. Many African nations maintain troubling ties with China, including key national security partners. Just last month, President Ruto declared that Kenya, a major non-NATO ally, and China are co-architects of a new world order. That's not just alignment to China, it's allegiance. I submit for the record the text of that speech. I'm going to enter it in the record at the conclusion of the hearing that describes this. Relying on leaders who embrace Beijing so openly is an error. It's time to reassess our relationship with Kenya and others who forge tight bonds with China. And it isn't just an embracement of China, but also the, quote, new world order, end quote. Still, there are countries where meaningful engagement is possible, but only with sober judgment and clear-eyed realism. We must stop building U.S. policy in Africa around individual leaders and instead focus on strengthening institutions, expanding private sector ties, and empowering the region's young and dynamic populations. Watching President Ruto with the Chinese holding hands and talking about a new world order is just stunning. After all the work and effort we've put in there, and to see him talking about a new world order, you know, the new world order was constructed by the United States and democracies, capitalist countries that are human rights loving countries, and the new world order that these countries are talking about is being constructed by the autocracies, the outright communists, socialists, people who have no respect for human rights. It's stunning to hear countries talk about wanting to join or promote that world order when the world order that was constructed after World War II has served us so really well. Certainly not perfectly, but then again, the world isn't a perfect place, but so much better than what you'd see if the autocrats took over. It's discouraging to hear that, and part of it, I think, is tied to the fact that when we do things in Africa, they seem to be individual-centric instead of a country-centric. We don't focus on institution, we focus on individuals.
America! We're tired of living like this. We're tired of suffering like this. We can build a nation of our own. So we've gone to the judge, and the judge is not some cracker sitting up in a courtroom. The judge is God himself. And we helped you get everything you got. Oh, by the way, you love the flag? The first person to die for your freedom was a black man named Crispus Attucks in Boston, Massachusetts. We've been involved in all your wars for your freedom. We ain't got it yet. We still singing, we shall overcome. Well, that song is ended, and the melody ain't even lingering on. We're tired.
Africa after decolonization was more or less the forgotten continent. Western countries did not want to engage it for whatever reason. China went in. China treated every African country as brother and sister, and China really invested hugely in Africa. Now, many other countries are talking about engaging with Africa, including the United States, many European countries, India, for example. The more the better, because Africa should not be a monopoly for any other country, not for China, not for anyone else. Africa is for the African people.
Been very concerned lately about China. They are now all over Africa, buying things and investing over there and getting those countries dependent on them and supporting, non-democratic people. And I'm just
like
wondering,
whom?
Well,
we are in a country that supports Saudi Arabia.
Yes, that's true. Right. So
suddenly we have a problem with, superpowers supporting non-democratic people.
Yes, yes, I do. They're in Africa. They're lending money to countries to build ports and different infrastructure.
To build what?
Port, harbors.
And what's wrong with that?
And because
countries that need ports get ports.
But they're making people dependent on. I know it's the same thing that we've done, which is
it's
horrible
not.
Around the world.
They are far more humanistic than the United States ever was.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. So.
Let me give you an example. Of course, they are peddling for influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they are non-interventionist, absolutely non-interventionist in a way that Europeans, the West, has never managed to fathom. When it comes to the influence of China outside its borders, I have to say, firstly, it's quite remarkable that they don't seem to have any military ambitions. Secondly, Africa. I'll give you an example, a specific example. Ethiopia. 2004, because I happened to be there and I have some first-hand experience of it. They went into Ethiopia. I'll tell you why they went into Ethiopia, because they suspected there was oil. Because China is a major industrial power, but it lacks primary resources. Now, instead of going into Africa with troops, colonially, destroying the country, killing people like the West has done for the last 100 years, what they did was they went to Addis Ababa and they said to the government, we would like, we can see you have problems with your infrastructure, we would like to build some new airports, upgrade your railway system, create a telephone system, and rebuild your roads. And we'll do this all for free.
And having more influence in Africa than the United States of America, and they have to act fast. And they are suggesting that it's because they're having individual ties with the presidents in Africa. That is the reason to which the United States of America is losing big time. So they have to make sure they move away from that. Because this is a shock to the United States of America. They never expected that William Ruto would move away from the United States of America to dine with China. And now China is becoming an enemy to the wonderful you understand? Yes. But these people, I don't understand the reason to which they will have a problem with African leaders deciding the kind of friends and allies we should have. These people don't understand that Africa will one day rise up to defend itself from any oppression. We cannot continue to be serving the interests of the United States of America. The African also have an interest. And we are living in a free world. Then we can decide who should become our ally and who we should partner with. And we should have a freedom of speech. If these people claim that we should practice democracy and these people are practicing democracy, why would William Ruto make a speech and even have a trip or visit China and it becomes a problem to these people? Like Captain Ibrahim Traore said, democracy is something that is a system to control the African. So there is nothing called democracy. We believe that we have democracy. Like one of the professors said, do we think that we have democracy? To the point that our leaders cannot even travel freely to people that they feel they can do business with. And these are the same people who are sitting down pointing fingers at Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, calling them back into oppression, saying they have to come back to democracy and constitutional rule. You yourself that is practicing that democracy and claiming that you are independent as a nation do not have the right to even move out of whoever that is around you to form a new partnership, and everything must always be their interest. These people don't think about the interests of the African. What will happen to the African has never been their concern, but the African leader is the one that has allowed himself to be used in this manner and to be treated in this manner, to the point that you don't have the right to mingle and make friends with people, yet you are feeling so comfortable, and you are the reasons to which Africa isn't moving forward, because you always go out, sell your brothers out, betray your brothers, always prefer to be slaves instead of being kings. Can you go and tell the United States why is it that Donald Trump visited Saudi Arabia, is having ties with Saudi Arabia, is moving with Saudi Arabia? So if the African cannot question them, why do they have the right to question the African when we decide to move out of Africa to form partnership with other people? Can they do this to Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso? They can never do that. But they can sit there and call you to order. And before you realize, William Ruto will have to come out and sing a song that will please these people. Until we, the African, will add value and make these people to understand that we are equally humans like them, these people will continue to treat us inferior. These systems that these people have created are there to benefit them. And before you can do anything for your people, you must move and break away from all these systems that they've created. Until you do that, you can never do anything meaningful for the people that you are leading. These are the things that Captain Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goita, and Abdurrahman Chani are fighting against. That you, these same leaders, sit in wherever you are to be tagging them juntas. Is this disrespectful manner that these people are saying enough? And these are the things that our leaders and our freedom fighters have always fought against. Yet when it got to you, you prefer to dine with these people. You prefer to give these people access to everything. And today, the people that you think that are there for you are turning against you. They control your lives. No wonder Captain Ibrahim Traore said you always pay for your images to be clean. They always wash your images to the African, projecting you to be the good leaders. Yet we know that you are the ones that are doing the bad things to us. Anytime we see yellow people praising an African leader, we should know that that leader is causing harm to his people. Yes. If truly you are sovereign, will somebody sit outside of the continent and monitor and question your movement? African leaders, will they be packing you in buses like sardines? Why don't we unite at this point with Captain Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goita, Abdurrahman Chani to fight for our rights and our dignity? That somebody don't sit somewhere to be deciding what we should be doing as Africans. We don't decide our interests in the United States of America. Why must you always come to the African continent and tell us that your interest first? For where? Is it part of your territory? But all will boil down to the leaders. Always will tell you, when we say, you said this generation, the young ones don't respect you, but it is what you do that is making the young ones not respect you, because we can't have all the manner resources, yet we are living as servants and we continue to be pleasing other people, and other people continue to treat us as if we are children, and other people continue to treat us as if we are children to their benefit. That is why we are fighting oppression. That is why we are rebelling. We cannot continue to be slaves, and we don't want to leave that colonial legacy to the next generations that will come. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. And in the United States of America,